What is going on, guys? It's your boy Jay here with Galactic Grizzly, and welcome back to the final episode of this season of What Happened To. Before we get into this week's episode, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification every time a new video is uploaded to the channel. Anyway, this week we're going to find out what happened to Lynn Spears. The teenage star of Zoey 101 seemed to be on a massive come up, but after announcing she was pregnant, she quickly vanished out of the public eye. So what happened to Lynn Spears? Lynn Spears was born on April 4th, 1991 in Macomb, Mississippi to James and Lynn Spears. I take it that's where she got the Jamie and Lynn. But she's the youngest out of her two other siblings, Brian and of course Brittany. Now obviously as the younger sister to one of the biggest pop stars of all time, you're naturally going to receive a lot of perks. One of which is getting a role in one of your sister's movies at the age of 11. In 2002, Jamie Lynn was featured in Crossroads, which, I mean, how'd you guess, was a pile of hot garbage. But when you just did a pretty solid job in your first Hollywood movie, and your sister is still the biggest pop star on the planet at the time, I mean, you couldn't ask for any more momentum in a new career. So the next year, she became a new regular on the Nickelodeon show All That, which helped pave the way for her to get her own show on Nick. In 2004, Lynn Spears officially said goodbye to All of That and became Zoey Brooks, a student at the infamous boarding school Pacific Coast Academy. At the age of Nickelodeon show, it was, of course, Zoey 101. The show kicked off at the very beginning of 2005 and followed all the adventures that you would imagine would take place at a boarding school for teenagers on the coast of California. Zoey was a huge hit for Nickelodeon and quickly became a fan favorite. Now I won't lie, I did watch my fair share of some Zoey 101 as a kid, but come on, I grew up with two sisters. And even in hindsight, it was actually a pretty solid show. In my opinion, a blueprint or a precursor to Hannah Montana. The show ran for 4 seasons and led to Lynn Spears winning one of the most prestigious awards in show business, the good old Kids' Choice Award. But the show came to a sudden stop in 2008 because at the age of 16, Lynn Spears was pregnant. Now, everyone settle down. I know everyone was just dying to hear this news. I got TMZ blowing up my phone over here trying to get this piping hot tea, but they're gonna have to wait. Good, wholesome fans of Galactic Grizzly come first. But yes, that's the reason your beloved Zoey 101 came to an end. Obviously, being a teenage mom is a huge whirlwind and comes with a lot of responsibilities that are much more important than some damn PCA. So the network wanted to respect that, and instead of trying to still make the show work, came to the decision with Spears to just end it. Now, I'm not going to get into the tea of who the dad was or is or who her husband is, blah, blah, blah. You can find a different channel for that mess. Just know ahead of time that her daughter seemed to turn out to be a pretty good and normal kid. But anyway, what did she do after the show ended and she had her daughter? Well, she took a break from the spotlight and focused on just being a full-time mom. Which, yeah, you can take a long break from working when you hit it big in Hollywood and actually take good care of your finances. But after a couple years went by, she moved to Nashville and jumped into one of her biggest passions, music. She wanted to start making country music, so naturally, Nashville was one of the best cities for her to reside in. In 2013, she dropped her first single, How Could I Want More? Very intimate song lyrics helped drive this song to number 29 on the Billboard Country chart, and I mean, it is Lynn Spears. We really hadn't heard anything from her since she was 16, so I'm sure suddenly popping up with a song is going to get people's attention before they even listen to it. And she wasn't just a one-hit wonder either. She has consistently been making music into recent years and even performed at the Radio Disney Music Awards 2 years ago. And just last year, she returned to her old network, Nickelodeon, to be a contestant on the reboot of Double Dare. So where is she at now? Well, for one, her daughter Maddie is now 11, which is crazy to think about, and she now has a 1-year-old daughter as well, named Ivy, with her now husband, Jamie. Yep, Jamie. And just a couple months ago, it was announced that after over a decade, Lynn Spears would be making her return to acting in the upcoming Netflix show, Sweet Magnolias, which is still very early in production, so I can't even show a trailer. So yeah, Lynn Spears is doing extremely well for herself and her family, and it's really good to see that. I personally had no idea what happened to her prior to making this video, and I feel like unless you're into country music, a common belief was that she had some huge fallout like her sister after word got out that she was going to be a teenage mom, but as you just learned, that wasn't the case at all. I don't think she did anything wrong. In fact, I think the complete opposite. She has seemingly handled herself in a really, really great way, starting with her decision to step away from the spotlight as a 16-year-old kid to give 100% of herself to what is a lot more important, and then come back when things are a bit more stable. You've seen our fair share of child actors nosedive in many different ways, but one of them is the fact that they can't seem to step away from the entertainment industry and focus on pressing issues they may have in their personal lives. Not that it's all their fault when things go wrong. I understand there's bad management and, et cetera, et cetera. And at the same time, I'm very much aware that a lot of adults struggle with that too. But unfortunately, when that happens to a child actor, it's a lot harder for them to come back from a big fallout. Fortunately, that's not what happened in Jamie Lynn Spears' case. If you're interested in learning more about her, I know she has a documentary that came out a few years ago called When the Lights Go Out, where she goes into detail on her past and what her life is like as a mom. I didn't really find the need to watch that myself, but just to put it out there, it is available. Thanks for watching the final episode of Season 1 of What Happened To. If you would like to see the previous episodes of this season, I also covered Orlando Bloom, Shia LaBeouf, Kurt Banks, and a couple other folks before that. Before I end this video, I would like to ask you who you would like to see covered on the next season of What Happened To. I'm going to start planning out Season 2 of What Happened To, and I would like to know who I should cover directly from the audience that is watching this content. So leave a comment below with your recommendations. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and a big thank you to anyone who kept up with this series throughout the season. I will talk to you all soon. See ya. And even performed at the Radio Disney Music. That's the second time I did that. In 2002, Jamie Lynn was featured in Crossroads. That's the third time I did. And in 2013, she dropped her... We'll get it. We'll figure it out. And in 2013, she dropped her first single, How Could I Want More? Maybe I won't get it.